What's up, guys? Welcome back to Moneyball Cards. I hope you enjoyed the episode with Ryan breaking down Bobby Witt Jr. If you guys enjoy these episodes, just breaking down one prospect, let us know in the comments. If you prefer the back and forth conversations, we'll still be doing those. But if you enjoy those more, also let us know in the comments. But before we get into this breakdown, let's take a look at the cards I purchased at the last card show I attended about a week ago in Charlotte. It was in the Charlotte Knights AAA baseball stadium. They had the table set up there. I made some cool purchases, but some of them are very relevant to this video, so I wanted to show off some of these cards that I picked up. First, I was just going through someone's it wasn't a dollar box. It was just a regular box, and I saw he had the players kind of grouped together, and I saw four Joe Burrow rookie cards in there. They're all base cards, and I asked them for a price, and we made a deal. I got them for pretty cheap. They all look pretty good, and I know his name's heating up. So I decided to just pick them up for pretty cheap. And another purchase I made with Joe Burrow was with J Max Sports Cards. If you haven't seen his channel, that's pretty well-known channel in the sports card community. He's a very, very nice guy. I went through some of his cards and I saw some Joe Burrows and I just asked him for a price. He didn't go and try to look up comps or anything. We just made a deal like the old days. We just kind of negotiate based off what we felt like was the value. And I prefer when dealers do that, when they're not looking up the comps, because you can manipulate comps. You can go look for the highest sold that maybe sold 6 months ago or something like that. But we made a deal, and I got these for a good price, and I was pretty happy about them. So the first one is a Tools of the Trade, Joe Burrow. This is a second year card, numbered out of 99. And this one was a variation second year card as well. This is numbered out of 100. And I know they're second year cards, but and a lot of people preach against second year cards, but I believe with quarterbacks, second year cards still can hold value and do pretty well for you. And I got them for a good price, so gonna hold on to them, see how Burrow does in these playoffs. I know his name's heating up. If he gets I'm filming this before the playoff game against the Raiders, so if he gets a win, I'm sure these are all going to go up in value, and I'm going to do pretty well on these. So let's take a look at Joe Burrow and see if we should be buying his cards. See if it's maybe just a fluke or if this guy's the real deal. So I wanted to start this out with a perfect example of what could happen to a lot of these quarterback prospects. And I'm going to start with my guy from the Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield. I've had a lot of hope for Baker Mayfield. There's even a Moneyball episode that we've done earlier where I talked about a Baker Mayfield card I bought, and I was just trying to be optimistic about it going up. But there's a trend with rookie quarterbacks, and we see it a lot. We see it all the time. And if quarterbacks can just stay consistent, and we want to see guys who can stay consistent and don't get figured out. So with Baker Mayfield, he is the perfect example of someone who got figured out. And I'm going to start with just his basic stats. You'll see first year, he broke the rookie touchdown record, 27 touchdowns. Still 64% completion percentage. The next year, 22 touchdowns, 21 interceptions. He got figured out, and then he came back with a new coach, played pretty well. 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and then people say he was hurt. But I think he got figured out. His offensive line actually played really well this year, and they were one of the best offensive lines in running and pass blocking, but he still took the most sacks in the league with a top 10 pass blocking offensive line. So it's safe to say that teams realize, Baker Mayfield is shorter, and if we keep him in the pocket, he can't see the field as well, and he's going to take sacks. He's going to miss open guys, and it's proven to be true. So I'm going to go to some advanced stats for Baker Mayfield. So if you look at adjusted passing, all these numbers right here, you'll see they're around 100. I'll put one of these up. 100 is average, so it's league average. It says higher is better, lower you're below league average. So you'll see Baker Mayfield was about average. His first year, he got figured out. Then he was below average for everything. Got a new coach, played really well, and was slightly above league average. And then this past year, figured out again and way below league average in just about every category except yards per attempt. So we're going to take a look at Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow to see if they have followed this trend, and then we'll take a look at their cards on market movers. So Justin Herbert, hottest name last year as a rookie. Joe Burrow actually played 10 games. I was a little bit worried that maybe he just hasn't been figured out yet, but because he got injured early on. But he did play 10 games. He did play about a little over half a season, and he played pretty well. But Justin Herbert was the big name last year, and you'll see he was above average in every passing category possible. So we would look to this year to see if teams have figured him out, figured out his system, and Justin Herbert also above average once again. So that's good to see. Yeah, I guess maybe year 3 is kind of a make or break year. If he can be above average in every category again for a third year, then he's definitely real time. A big prospect and someone worth looking into. So we're going to talk about our main subject of this episode, Joe Burrow. So Joe Burrow, he played at Ohio State. He was a backup. He couldn't get past Justin Fields. I'm an Ohio State fan. I knew about Joe Burrow when he came in as a freshman. When I saw him leave to go to LSU, it didn't really didn't mean much to me, and he played okay his first year at LSU, but then he just came out of nowhere and just dominated that final year. And we were all, as Ohio State fans, like, wow, why didn't we keep this guy? So he's someone is easy to root for, even as a Ohio State fan and Browns fan. I just can't root against the guy. He's just someone that's just so he's likable, and he's not like Baker Mayfield. Even as a Browns fan, yes, we see all the commercials, and it's a little difficult to like Baker Mayfield. But Joe Burrow, he's not doing all the commercials. Maybe we'll see him in commercials, and that might be something to worry about. But if he stays where he is, just kind of under the radar and just focused on football, he could continue with this progress. So you'll see his in those 10 games, his completion percentage, 65%. Above what Baker Mayfield was doing, and this past year I believe he led the league in completion percentage, which is huge. So it's safe to say he wasn't figured out per se by defenses. And if we go to his adjusted passing to see if he was above or below league average, you'll see in those 10 games he was actually below league average in most stats except for completion percentage and interception rate, which interception percentage is something that I really like to look at. You don't want a guy who's going to turn the ball over because that's just it's not going to translate into winning in the future. This past year he comes back from injury. You would expect him to maybe be worse, but just like at LSU, he plays that first year and then he comes back and he's just more dominant, and yards per attempt way above league average, and I'm pretty sure the bold means he led the league. Completion percentage way above league average, and then adjusted yards per attempt, way above league average. This guy, he played great, and even quarterback rating way above league average when he was just a little bit below league average the year before. So now that he's exceeded expectations, year 3 once again, just like Herbert, is going to be a big year for him. We'll see if these. We'll come back to him and see if these adjusted percentages. If he goes below league average or if he stays consistent, we want a guy who's going to stay consistent and be above league average, especially for the prices that cards are. We don't want to be spending crazy amounts of money for someone who's not fully proven yet. And an even deeper dive into Joe Burrow, this is NFL.com stats, situational stats. I wanted to look at how does he do as the game progresses over this past year. As he throws more attempts later in the game, does he get worse or does he get better? It looks like he just gets slightly worse. Quarterback rating goes down a little bit, but as he gets in 21 through 30, quarterback rating is very good. So he doesn't just fall off near the end. He's not a guy who's going to lose the game for you. And you'll see this is a red zone stats. How does he do? We don't want someone that throws interceptions in the red zone. You're about to score. You want someone who's going to finish it off, and he doesn't throw many interceptions in the red zone. That's good to see. Fourth quarter stats within a touchdown. How does he do when he's within one score and he can go and tie the game? His rating goes up. He gets better as the game gets closer and it gets tighter. I'm sure if I went to these for Baker Mayfield, this within 7 would be awful because he usually ends up just throwing an interception. And Joe Burrow is someone he just has that confidence about him, and he's looking like the real deal. So we'll see how he does in the playoffs. But let's take a look at some market movers stats. So this is a market movers data tool by Sports Card Investor. And if you want to check this out, you can use the code Moneyball to get 20% off. There should be a link in the description of this video that you can click, and it'll automatically put Moneyball in for you. So this is a comparison of Joe Burrow's base prism versus Herbert's base prism. Population counts are in the 2000s, but I feel like this is because PSA raised prices. So not as many people are grading them, or there's probably a bunch of these just sitting at PSA right now, waiting to come back. So these pop reports could explode at any time, which is something to worry about. So the last sales for these cards were about almost $400, and you'll see Herbert's been going down, and Burrow, of course, has been going up with his late season. Just he went on fire later in the season. Him and Jamar Chase, and he's going pretty crazy. But $400 is a lot for a card. That's still the pop number could go up. So let's compare it to an established guy like Aaron Rodgers and see what cards are under $400 with lower population that you could still buy that would probably be a better purchase. So I've added Aaron Rodgers, a Bazooka base, PSA 10, population 140, his score base 387, and his tops base 90. And all of these cards are below $400. They're actually cheaper than those two guys we talked about earlier. Would you put your money into guys who could be the real deal, or would you put your money into someone at the same price, much lower pop report, and someone who's he's already going to be in the Hall of Fame, had a great career? I know he kind of lost some fans over this past offseason with the way he acted, but that still doesn't take away how he is on the field and the career he has had. So I personally would put my money into a guy like Aaron Rodgers at this price range. So let me know what you think about Joe Burrow, And in the comment section, are you buying his cards still? Or would you rather get an established veteran for a lower price? Because some of these Joe Burrow cards, I wouldn't get these base ones. And his numbered cards, there was a white sparkle PSA 10 I saw on Instagram. Someone offered the guy $21,000 and he got rejected for $21,000. And a white sparkle is known to be a print run of 20. So $21,000 for that, for a guy who he could come out next year and just be awful, and we don't know that yet. We don't know if he's consistent. If he goes and wins the Super Bowl this year, then okay, maybe it's worth it. But you got guys who have already won the Super Bowl with for much cheaper, and it's just the way things are looking right now. People like the exciting young prospects when you can get guys who have already done it. So let me know what you think in the comment section, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode of Moneyball Cards.